Yeah, I would say that I'm also serving as a member in one of the organizations, which is the Paralegal organization. And our organization is known as Women Wake Up or the Doma Paralegal, where we work to render legal aid services to women and children. Actually, our focus is only on women and children. We do not give legal services or legal aid to men. Instead, we give to women and children because we see that the women are the most marginalized and they're ones who, their rights have been infringed. So I'm working with Women Wake Up, and we basically work with women and children.
Yes. We know in Tanzania most of paralegal are based in the communities. Mm-hmm. Now, what are the key roles of community-based paralegals?
Yeah, thank you very much for your question. Among the roles of the paralegals in the community is to give a legal aid to the community. We also, for example, in our organization, we also conduct legal aid awareness campaigns where we campaign to the community so that they should know their basic legal rights in order when they get anything which is concerned with legal issues, that they can know where to start. Because the issue is that most of the people, they would like to know about but they do not know where to start. For example, maybe the widows, especially the women who are widows, they're sometimes maybe all their belongings are being taken away by their family members. You see? But these women wouldn't know where to start. But if they are aware, they are given at least a glimpse of their basic rights, they would know where to start when it comes on the issue of inheritance, when it comes on the issue of divorce, and all the things are related to human rights.
Thank you very much. As we have said, you've been in the industry for almost 20 or over 20 years as a paralegal in Tanzania. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think the country recognizes the work of paralegal?
Yeah, I would say now yes, but before it wasn't recognized because the paralegals were given different names. There were some of them given that they're bush lawyers, all those kinds of not good jobs. But what I would say that first I would thank the government of Tanzania after a very long struggle that at last the Legal Act was passed in 2017. And thanks enough that I was among the pioneers of this law, because I'm a long-standing paralegal for quite a long time, and I know the difficulties the paralegals had. We would go maybe if we had an issue or if we had programs, we were supposed to go to local authorities, but since the local authorities, they are not aware of us, so they wouldn't give us any cooperation. But after this Legal Aid Act of 2017, now that our Parliament of Tanzania has enacted the law on legal aid now, it means that the nation and the country knows that there is law which is going on. So it means that even the grassroots, the local leaders, the government, and other stakeholders, they are aware that there is this legal aid bill, and the paralegals now are known within the country. So it has now somehow brought, maybe I would say, blessings, because now the paralegals are known and now they can work without any problems.
Okay, thank you. And how does that, our government now regulate the work of paralegal?
Yeah, because as you know, that after the enaction of the law, maybe the minister is supposed to make the regulation. Yes. So through those regulations, the work can be done through those regulations. And fortunately enough, I think that in this in the board there is a representation from paralegal. So it means that if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure, but it was supposed that there must be a paralegal who will also be, within the board. So it means that if there is our representative there, it means that some of our issues can be tabled there, and all those proceedings and all those things. So I would say that the government has played his role and has recognized us, and also keeping us in the board and accepting that the paralegals can do this groundwork. The paralegals, they are not that much aware of law because they've not gone to the law schools or whatever. But it's just maybe a way, what I would say that, I would say in Kiswahili, that they're the ones who are at the starting point, so that they put it forward in order to give maybe a client to know where to go. For example, if a widow would like to know her basic rights, she would get some information from the paralegal. But if you want to take her to the advocate, maybe she could be to a lawyer. She would know the ABCs, and she might express herself. But before it was a bit hard. It's not only for the widows, but there are matrimonial issues. There are issues maybe of divorce. You see, the issues of maintenance, all those things. So if these women are aware and know about the issues, so it's easy for them to go and seek for the advice or seek for legal advice.
Nice. Now that we have the Legal Aid Act, we also have regulation in place. Do you think that has some effect to the way the paralegal are working, this community-based paralegal?
Yeah, because the effects, they are either negative or positive.
Exactly.
Yeah, but on this issue, I would say that there are positive effects. Yeah, there are positive effects because it has laid a ground whereby now the paralegals, they can work knowing that they are safe, because there is an act which is safeguarding them so that they can do it in a very better way. Instead, nowadays, they're not being called all those cloaky names or whatever. So it means that they can also work with strength, and that first the government recognizes them, and even the community recognizes them, and even some of the lawyers now, because there is this act, and they know that there is the legal act whereby the paralegals now are known. So it means that even some of the lawyers, they are really ready to work with the paralegals. Yeah. So I would say it is a positive impact.
Nice. Now, what are the major challenges that the paralegals are facing in Tanzania?
As you know, that most of the paralegals are run through either community-based organizations or in NGOs, non-government organizations, and most of them, they rely the funding on their donors. So that's also a very stumbling block to some of these paralegals, because some of them, they cannot be able to secure these funds. And what I would say that, there are so many things which the paralegal need to do. Maybe they have to take their clients to courts, or maybe they have to create this awareness within the community. But if they don't have enough funds, it's not ready. You have to produce flyers, IEC materials, so that the people also can read for themselves. Because it's not easy to meet so many people at one time. But through maybe production of IEC materials, some of the people read in a very simple language. From there, they can know where to go. So what I would say that among the stumbling block to these paralegals is also the issue of funding. And I'm telling you, because I've been a long time serving paralegal, I know that the issue of funding is really also an obstacle.
So thanks for hinting.
Apart from that, also these regulations. The regulations are somehow in English, and some of the paralegals, the language barrier is also a problem. So the issue is that we have to make it in a simpler form, so that anyone can be able to understand that simple language. You could make it. There is a language known as a KISS language. KISS language means keep it simple and sensible. You see? So if we put it in that way, it means that so many people can go through these documents and understand the regulations, and of course, if they need anything to know more, they can go to the proper authorities to get more information. But otherwise, I would say that there is this positive impact, and especially the government, since it has enacted this act, it has been very, very helpful.
Thank you. Now, how do community-based paralegal complement the work of other agencies in ensuring that everyone has access to justice?
Actually, I would say that in many situations, these paralegals work with other stakeholders who have the common language. We have different stakeholders who are working on the issue of legal aid. Let's say we have TAMWA, we have TAWLA, Tanzania Women Lawyers Association, we have TANLAP, Tanzania Legal Aid Providers Network, we have Tanzania Paralegal Network, we have also ETAPANET, which also it is a Tanzania Paralegal Network. So all of these, they work together for the betterment of the community, so that the community can know their basic rights, and especially women, because we know that the most who are vulnerable to who cannot access justice are the women and children. Of course, when you speak about women, you cannot isolate children. So that's it.
Now, in concluding your interview, in your view, what kind of support should the government extend to community-based paralegals in Tanzania?
Yeah, actually, when passing this Legal Aid Act, I was also, because I'm also a member of Parliament, we thought that it would be better if the government also could keep aside the budget for the paralegals. So if there is a small fund to enable these paralegal units to keep on moving, that one would be a very much helpful. And of course, the government now might be proud of that. We have enacted the law. After enacting the law, we have kept aside a small fund for enabling these paralegals to move on. I think that one would be a very good blessing within of course, we as Tanzanians, we would bless the government that it has, because as you know that our government has signed different international and national treaties and policies and whatever. So through that, we'll say that there are these SDGs and whatever, that the government now has decided to keep aside the fund for the paralegals to keep on moving. I think that one will be the best way. And I think there is a necessity now that we have the law, we have the regulations. Now the government has to now keep on moving, because the law is there, it has been enacted, we have the regulations. Now we have to know that there should be a specific budget for running the paralegals, so that these women and the community as a whole, they can have their basic rights. And of course get their legal aid.
Thank you very much, Mama, and I think that is the end of our interview.
You're welcome.